Welcome to Life Unscripted, Adulting Uncovered, the podcast for anyone out here doing their best to grow, heal, and not totally lose it in the process. I'm your host, Brennan, and if you ever felt like the only adult still figuring it out, don't worry, you're not alone. This is the place for you. Let's stop pretending and start talking. Hey, let me ask you something. Have you ever bailed on a commitment? Not to someone else, to you. Chances are you do it so much you don't even notice it, and slowly this becomes part of who you are. But over time, the consequences are big. Welcome back to Life Unscripted, Adulting Uncovered. Today, we're talking about something that might seem small until it's not. It's something that slowly diminishes our ability to hit goals, chips away at confidence, and erodes sense of self. I'm talking about accountability. Not the kind you owe your boss, at least not all the time. I'm talking about the kind you owe yourself. Showing up when no one is watching. Because the truth is, we're not ghosting others, we're ghosting ourselves. It usually starts small, skipping a workout, canceling on a friend, ignoring that idea you were excited about last week, no big deal. But when you let it slide over and over, it becomes your go-to move. It's part of your mental DNA. You know you can go back to it because you do it over and over. You're not just skipping actions and achievements, you're breaking promises to others, or worse, to yourself. And that erodes trust, not just with others, but with you. We talk about trust a lot on this channel because trust is very important. And trusting yourself is even more important. Having that quiet confidence within you that you can count on yourself matters. And the worst part, you might not even notice it's happening until you wake up feeling stuck, drained, or behind. Accountability is your time to show up for yourself, to hit those goals against all odds. Everyone has kids, a spouse, a partner, a dog, a cat, a job, family, commitments, community. We're sometimes so focused on meeting others that we forget about ourselves. So what about you? You deserve a slot on your calendar too. Why does this happen? It usually doesn't start with something big. It starts small, real small. You skip the alarm, you don't hit that workout, you bail on calling a friend back. No big deal, right? Life moves on. But what you don't realize is you're teaching yourself something. You're building the habit of not showing up for you. And before you even notice, that little pattern starts bleeding into bigger stuff. You keep texting the guy back who treats you like trash. Next thing you know, you're sitting across from him at dinner, listening to him ramble on about some nonsense you could care less about. And somewhere in your head, you're asking, why am I even here with this tool bag again? You keep meeting up with the person who makes you feel invisible. And before long, they're right there again, draining your energy, just like clockwork, taking up space in your life that should be yours. And still, you keep letting people, friends, exes, whoever, chip away at your peace like it's disposable. You avoid the gym now for 6 months, and it's not just your body, it's how you feel about yourself. These moments aren't just passing inconveniences, they're warnings. The guy isn't just wasting your time. He's rewriting how you see yourself. He's eroding your self-worth bit by bit. That person, they're not just draining your energy. They've become the voice in your head that says you don't deserve better. And the scariest part is you choose it. You allow it to happen. And the truth is, yeah, you might think they're managing fine, but under the surface, you're building a habit of self-abandonment. That's what this is. Not laziness, not lack of discipline. It's ghosting your own goals, your own growth, and your own damn self. So what does accountability even look like? It's commitment to oneself. It goes beyond keeping a to-do list. It's ownership of your choice. It's taking full ownership on all aspects of your life, even the stuff that comes out your mouth. When you commit to doing something, you mean it. Because saying no is so much easier. There's no action behind no. It's effortless. You say no, you move on. But if you commit to something, even if it's something really trivial like to meet a friend, and you absolutely don't feel like going, you own it. You text a friend back and say, hey, I know I said I'd meet you for dinner tomorrow, but I'm not up for it. Can we rain check? That's accountability. It's being honest. You're not perfect. It's holding yourself to the fire at all levels. If I say I'm going to do something, I'll do it. And if something comes up, I own that too. Because accountability builds trust. And all relationships must have some level of trust to thrive. So think about that for a second. How many relationships in your life have trust? You may have a lot, and you might not notice it, or you may have very few. If you can't trust someone, then what good is the relationship? And frankly, what's the point of keeping it going? Because let's be real, you can't count on that person. Don't you want people that you can lean into? Isn't that the type of connections you want in your life? Because that's the kind of connection that lets a relationship grow. That's the kind of trust where relationships thrive. As always, I want to share a story. So let me be real. This podcast is a perfect example. I had the idea. I felt the universe calling me. It was saying, yo, dude, there's something here. I still doubted myself. And if I'm being honest, sometimes I still do. But eventually I said enough. I stepped up. I stepped out. So I sat down. I grabbed a notepad. I started writing everything out. What would it take to get a podcast going? What does the format even look like? How do I start this in a low-cost way but still bring value? What would season 1 even look like? Where do I post episodes? Who's going to do artwork? Because I have no idea how to use Photoshop. And what do I even call this podcast, right? What's going to be the name of it? And I didn't have all the answers. I just knew I needed to start. And I made a promise to myself, I'll just do one thing a day. Even if that's just sending one damn email, I'll do one thing. And so over the next few weeks, I chipped away at it. Eventually, I was ready to record, and then boom, a whole new set of things I had to figure out. How do you edit a podcast? Which, by the way, takes way more time than I expected. Where do you upload a podcast? And look, I don't have it figured all out, but I told myself, you don't need to have it figured out right now. Just focus on what's in front of you, do that, and deal with the rest later. So now I want you to think about this. Take me out the story for a second and put you in it. What are 10 things you brushed off this week? How would you feel if you knocked out just 5 of them? I bet you feel more confident. I bet you feel more grounded, feel more like yourself. Has there been someone in your life this week who's eaten up your time? Do you feel drained by their presence? Do you think that it might be time to cleanse those people from your life and make room for where you are and where you're going? Why does accountability matter, right? Accountability is like a muscle. If you don't work it, it gets weak. Just like any other muscle, it needs to be trained. It needs repetition, intention, and effort. And then when that muscle starts slipping, you lose your drive. You lose your connection to yourself and the things you said you wanted, your goals, your dreams, all that stuff that actually means something to you. It's not just about checking off boxes. It's about trust. Trusting yourself, trusting others, and being someone people can count on, including you. That's how you start building the life you said you wanted. And that life, it includes the connections who see your worth, who desire you, and who build you up. So in closing, what's something you told yourself this month, this week, or even today that you just brushed off? And really sit with this. What's life going to look like in 3 months, 3 years, or 3 decades if you keep avoiding it? And conversely, what's life going to look like if you actually do it? If you show up and you do it for yourself? So here's what I want you to do. Set a goal. Start small if you need to. You don't need to go big yet. Let's awaken that accountability muscle. If you're struggling with accountability, write down that goal. Put it somewhere you'll see it every day. Maybe you're old school and you like crossing things out by hand, so a notepad with pen is best. Maybe you need to see it on your phone's lock screen 30 times a day and then really sit with how it will feel when you cross that goal out. Think about what comes next and what that momentum will build. Hit that goal, then write another and do the same thing again, and then check in with yourself in 30 days. I bet you'll feel lighter, and I bet you'll feel more in control and more like you. Because the relationship that matters most, it's the one when you're accountable to you, especially when nobody's watching. So guys, I'll end there today. As always, if something hit, share it with someone else. And remember, life is better when you stop pretending and start talking. Catch you next time.